Welcome to InventorCam Professor. I'm Sydney, your InventorCam Professor, with one of hundreds of online video tutorials available free at www.inventorcam.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My goal is to be your personal InventorCam mentor, always available to show you the best ways to get to where you want to go in InventorCam. In this session, we'll be going through our all new and improved InventorCam 2012 turning. We'll start off with this part by going into new and going into mill turn. Now, the changes and options that were added were both in turn and in mill turn. So we'll start off now with mill turn to show this. We'll put it in its proper location. And now we come to the window where we define our part. Now, let's take a look at our window that opened up. We have, as we had before, the option of choosing which controller that we will be using. We create our coordinate system. We also have the option of creating our stock and the option of creating our target. What we don't have here is the option for creating clamps. This is now done automatically, and we'll take a look at that a little later on in this recording. We'll start by creating our coordinate system, and I'll choose the center of this part over here. Next, we'll choose our stock. Now, note in the stock, we have several different ways of creating our stock. We have creating a cylinder automatically around the part, or a box around the part, revolve boundary around Z, extruded boundary, 3D model, and STL. In this particular case, we'll be using cylinder. Now, when I choose cylinder, all I have to do now is simply click on the part itself, and a boundary will be made around the part. We'll take a look at this at the side view, and you can see that the stock has been created around the part. We have complete control as to how much we want it past our part on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, and external diameter, how much we want to pass the part itself. And if necessary, we can also create an internal diameter as well. Next, we'll be creating a target, and we'll be creating it with an envelope around the target. We've also added, by the way, the option of mirrored envelope in case you're working with a turret that comes from the bottom of the part. We'll choose our target by clicking on Define, and then clicking on the part itself. And now we've created the target. And at this point, what's happening is that the envelope is automatically being created around the part so that it can be used later on for helping us create geometries. I'll click on OK and on Save and Exit. And now we're ready to continue with our part. Now, if we take a look at what has been created, we can see that the stock has been created, plus the envelope around the part itself. And now let's take a look at our InventorCam Manager. On the side now, we have something called clamping fixture. This has been created automatically within the system as we created our part. If we were to right-click on clamping fixture and go to Show on Model, you'll note that the clamp is automatically placed on the stock itself. The default is that the half point of the bottom of the clamp is exactly at the edge of the stock and sitting right over here. Now, let's take a look at how we can edit the information about the clamp. If we go into clamping fixture, right-click on it, we can go into Edit, and you'll note that in this window that pops up, we have all different ways of how the clamp can actually grab the stock. We have our default as shown over here. We also have it that we can turn it around and have this edge on the stock itself, or that edge, or have it exactly on the outside. We can have it even going on internal diameters as well. In this particular case, we'll be using our default of the external inner face. We also have different methods, such as using it either in the main spindle or in a sub spindle. as shown over here. In addition, we have control of the thickness of our clamp. Clamps have different thicknesses, so we can have this at 10 millimeters or say, for example, 20 millimeters. Also, we have here number of jaws, if I want 3 jaws or 4 jaws. But let's go before that even and take a look at the fine by. In this particular case, we have it Chuck Standard. This is the new way that we can do this. The other options are fixture. If we have a fixture already done, we can have it as a 3D model fixture. Or we can use the traditional way of creating a sketch the way we used to do it and define the sketch as our chuck. In this case, we'll be using Chuck Standard. Now, as we continue down, we see we have complete control also of the position of our clamp. Right now, as the default, we have the clamping diameter exactly on the diameter of the stock itself. The axial position, as default again, is the halfway point of the bottom surface of the clamp, exactly at the edge of the stock. This can be changed either by simply clicking on the stock itself and repositioning it this way, or I can actually put in any value I want. So if I were to put in a value of, let's say, minus 100, you'll see that it changes dynamically as I'm writing the numbers itself. I can have this at minus 120. I can have this at minus 110. I can put this at any point I want, or simply move it the way I see fit, even by eye. In addition, we also have control of the size of our clamp. For example, I can have the jaw width as shown over here. Instead of 22, I can have it at 40 millimeters as shown over here. And now this has actually gotten larger over here. I can change the jaw height to say 20 millimeters. I can change the actual width of the step. I'll have this at say 10 millimeters. And you can see that has been changing over there. And also the step height, I can have it at 5 millimeters as shown over here. We have complete control of exactly how we want to have our clamp. All I have to do right now is click on finish. If I were to right click on clamping fixture, we can go to show 3D. Now you can see that we have 4 clamps that are wider over here, 20 millimeters in width. You can see exactly the way we have it set up, as well as showing it on the model itself. For more InventorCam Professor tutorials, please go to our website, www.inventorcam.com, and look under the tab called InventorCam Professor. Thank you for joining us on InventorCam Professor. Take care and have a nice day.